What's going on? I know it's been a minute since I've done one of these videos, but today I'm gonna keep it short. We're doing picks for UFC Fight Night, EMMETT versus VALLEJOS. So let's just go ahead and make our picks. We'll be walking through who's the best guy to pick, so you can have the best picks if that can make sense. So first fight of the night, we have Pierre Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. Now Sam Hughes is on a 3-fight winning streak. She's coming off a submission win over Shauna Bannon, and then Pierre Rodriguez is coming off 2 victories, one against Josephine Knudsen in Tampa a couple years ago, and then another against Caitlin Souza by decision. So Pierre Rodriguez, this is actually a rematch, so this should be interesting from that standpoint. But both of them have improved Both of them have improved very much so. Sam Hughes has just gotten a lot better in many different ways. Her wrestling's better. Her striking has improved. So I think she's the slight underdog, which I understand because she lost the first fight, but I think we got to go with her by decision. Anyway, move on to the next fight. Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. Now, Su Young Yu is on a big win streak. He's got wins over Long Zhao, who'd fought this past weekend against Cody Garbrandt, and then another win, I think, over Cortavius Romeus. Oh, no, AJ Cunningham, sorry. And then Elijah Smith, he's on a 2-fight win streak in the UFC. He has the Contender Series win against Aaron Tao. Elijah Smith, he's coming off a huge slam knockout against Toshiomi Kazuma. It went viral, highlighted one of the biggest knockouts of the year. Now he is the moderate favorite, and I think that's totally justifiable. Su Young Yu is a grappler. Is in his name, Jiu-Jitsu. He's gonna be looking to tie Elijah Smith up against the cage and get him to the floor. I think Elijah Smith has the necessary grappling tools. I mean, Vince Morales did catch him in some bad positions, but Vince Morales also caught Raul Rosas Jr. in some bad positions. So, I mean, I don't think it says too much about you as a fighter. So, I think, to me, the logical choice is Elijah Smith, but they're both pretty good. I'm going to go by decision. I think Su Young Yu's pretty hard to finish. I don't think Elijah Smith's this big knockout kind of guy. I think Toshiomi Kazuma is super chinny. So, yeah. I mean, just looking at the height, I mean, he's 5'9" compared to Su Young Yu's 5'6". Elijah Smith, 71 inches in reach. Su Young Yu, 65. I mean, it's just, to me, it's pretty obvious who should win this one, and it should be Elijah Smith. Next up, we have Bia Mesquita. She's coming off a submission victory against Irina Alekseeva back at UFC Brazil, and then Montserrat Rendon, who's coming off an upset against Elise Pereira, who's not Alex Pereira's sister. Everybody thinks that for some reason. To be honest, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, it is WMMA, so anything can happen. But I think that Bia Mesquita has the tools to grapple and to get it on the floor and grapple with Montserrat Rendon. I think she's going to get a second round submission just because I don't think Rendon has the best ground game. Her striking's decent. I don't see her. Bia Mesquita's pretty good. I think she's going to be ranked here shortly after this victory. So, yeah, I'm going with Bia Mesquita. Now, she is at a size disadvantage, but not a reach disadvantage. So, we'll find out. I don't know. It's hard predicting WMMA, man. Like, it's really hard. Next up, we got Luan Lacerda versus Hector Souza. Now, Luan Lacerda's coming off a victory against Simon Oliveira. He's got his first UFC victory. Now, I don't really rate that win highly because Simon Oliveira is one of the worst fighters on the bantamweight, one of the worst bantamweights on the roster. So, he is. So, yeah, I mean, Hector Souza, moderate favorite here. 14-1. He's 30 years old, 5'8". We don't have his reach. He's coming off that Contender Series win. Got a contract. He's the one whose father had passed away. And Dana White said, make sure your last name actually means something. So that was pretty cool. So he's got some name recognition if you've been watching. To me, I think Hector Souza is going to win this one by decision. I think he's going to be able to outstrike him on the feet. And I don't think Luan Lacerda is going to be able to get it to the ground. And if it does go to the ground, I think Hector Souza is going to have the answers to stop him, not to really let him get any submissions off. So to me, it's just Hector Sosa just seems like the much viable guy. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. I know. I don't think he's a knockout kind of guy, but that's just how it is. Sorry, I'm talking a little weird today. It's my first video back in a while. So next up, we got an actual banger here: VALLEJOS versus Manuel Souza. Now, VALLEJOS, 4-fight UFC veteran. Yep. But the only problem with him is that two of his wins are against guys who aren't even lightweights. One's against Michael Aswell on like a couple days' notice, featherweight. Took him to a really hard decision. And then the other one's Timmy Kwamba, who's a legitimate bantamweight, which is kind of crazy when you think, man, you're going toe-to-toe with a bantamweight and you're a big lightweight. He's coming off a loss of Mason Jones. That was a war. I don't blame him for losing. But, yeah, Manuel Souza. Now, before Mauricio Rufy fought Benoit Saint-Denis, he was the only guy to beat Mauricio Rufy, and he still is the only guy to knock him out. Now, Manuel Souza had a crazy comeback victory. He was down 2 rounds. The grappling was just doing too much against his opponent. I think it was Christian Perez. Yep. Absolute crazy comeback. Now, he's at a height disadvantage and a reach disadvantage, but I don't think that really means much. I feel like Oki can be cracked pretty good on the feet. I mean, Mason Jones had him hurt. And I don't think Oki has the grappling tools to really threaten Manuel Souza. So I think Manuel Souza, I think he's going to get a big knockdown. And I think he's going to finish it on the ground with a TKO. Possibly get a performance bonus. So to me, Manuel Souza seems like the easy choice, but VALLEJOS low-key could win. Next up, Chris Curtis versus Mitabek Orolbai. Now, this is an interesting one. Chris Curtis is a slight underdog. He's coming off a split decision victory against Max Griffin back at UFC Nashville. And then Mitabek Orolbai is on 2-fight winning streak with 2 finishes over Tofik Musayev and then Jack Hermanson. It was a nasty KO, but I don't really rate that KO too highly because Jack Hermanson really cut weight after getting run through by Gregory Robocop Rodriguez. So Orolbai is a younger fighter by 10 years. They're same height. Curtis has got a 1.5-inch reach advantage. Listen, dude, I think Chris Curtis is going to get it done. I'm serious, man. I feel like Orolbai is coming up from lightweight. Curtis is coming down from middleweight. So Curtis is going to be the bigger guy. That's just how it is. I think Curtis, everybody forgets that he was doing really good against Brendan Allen. And I actually thought he won the fight. Got injured in like the last minute. I think it was like a hamstring injury. Everybody kind of forgets these Apex fights that happened years ago, you know. But I really do. I think Chris Curtis here is a live underdog. Mitabek Orolbai is good, but I feel like we're forgetting he was getting just run through by Rebecca. I mean, that dude was piecing him up. I think Chris Curtis has the better wins, more experienced guy in the UFC and on the regional scene. I think Chris Curtis is actually going to get this done by a 29-28. Probably just going to be a split decision because it's Chris Curtis. He always leaves it up to split decision. But I really do believe that Chris Curtis is going to win this fight. I understand all these people see it's 91% to 9% in favor of Orolbai. I just don't rate Orolbai's knockout power that high. And I don't, are we forgetting this dude went toe-to-toe with Kopylov on the feet, man? Orolbai, I think he's good, but I don't think he's, like, super good. I really do think Chris Curtis is going to get it done. I think he's going to be able to get off the fence. Orolbai's not going to be able to take him down. Chris Curtis is going to be landing some nice combos. It's just how it's going to go. Next up, Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. This is an interesting fight. It's kind of surprising that neither of these guys fought each other, considering that they've been in the UFC for probably 9-10 years now. Eric Anders is coming off a hard TKO loss to Chris Duncan. I don't blame him for losing that one, though. Chris Duncan is an absolute monster right now. And then Brad Tavares lost a I don't know why I said split decision. He's coming off a loss against Robert Bricek, lost by TKO. I mean, he was winning the fight. All he had to do was grapple. He won the second round. I didn't understand it. Yeah, I mean, this fight doesn't really matter because I do believe this is Eric Anders' last fight. And then Brad Tavares, I mean, the end of the road is here for him, so it doesn't really, like, this fight's not going to have any huge, um, whatever you call it. I'm sorry. I for, Sorry, I'm not thinking well today. I think Brad Tavares is going to win. I think Eric Anders is going to be looking to wrestle. I feel like Tavares actually did a pretty good job of stuffing the grappling of Robert Bicek and Gerald Mearshart. I understand he lost to RoboCop and Union Park, but I don't think Eric Anders is at the point in his career where he's really going to be, tearing this dude up. I think Brad Tavares is going to win a close split decision. That's just always how it is with Brad Tavares, man. He always wins split decisions. He doesn't really have much finishing power, and I just don't think Eric Anders really has that kind of knockout power this day and age. So I'm going with Brad Tavares here. He's a slight favorite, but most people. Now, here's the thing. With Tapology, you actually need to be looking at this to wonder who's probably going to win, because really the favorite and the underdog doesn't really mean anything anymore. Next up, we move to our featured prelim, Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson. Now, this is an interesting one because Charles Johnson is coming off his first KO loss against Alex Perez back at UFC 324. And Bruno Silva's coming off submission to stop his losing streak against Hyun Sung Park back in October. Yeah, this is a tough one. I got to be honest. I don't think Bruno Silva has the kind of knockout power to put Charles Johnson back on his feet. I don't know. Now, I don't think Charles Johnson's chin is cracked. I think Alex Perez just landed perfect, caught him bad. That's all it was. I think Charles Johnson's going to win this fight by late third round knockout. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be really close. We don't really know who's winning. I think Charles Johnson's going to absolutely destroy him with a right hook. That's just how it is. I don't think Bruno Silva got chinned by Joshua Van, and I love myself some Joshua Van. He's one of my favorite fighters. But I just think Charles Johnson's going to be able to work his teep kicks in. He's got great Muay Thai, constantly pressuring his opponents. I think Charles Johnson's going to stand in his face. He's got a huge height and reach advantage. I think Charles Johnson is going to get that third round KO, and then Bruno Silva is going to go on a title run. That's just how it goes with Charles Johnson victims. Anyway, we move on to the main card. Vitor Petrino versus Steven Concrete Asplund. Now, this fight is interesting because Vitor actually, I believe, has a broken hand or is recovering from one. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get the grappling going. Steven Asplund, I do think has a chance, but I just really do favor Vitor Petrino, even though his hand is broken. Now, if Asplund can kind of make it out that first round, then who knows, But I feel like Vitor's probably going to get him to the ground, find a submission. I mean, I love Steven Asplund, but he got submitted by Denzel Freeman. That is a terrible, terrible loss. So I feel like Petrino's pretty alive right here. This doesn't make sense to me. I really do like Steven Asplund, but it should not be this close. But if Asplund has improved and really pressures Petrino on the feet, then who knows? I just feel like Petrino's going to win by submission. I think he's going to be able to grapple him. Maybe win a decision. I don't know if Asplund's grappling has improved. I just feel like Petrino's going to find that submission. But anyway, we'll move on to Marwan Rahiki versus Harry Hardwick. Now, Rahiki's coming off that crazy war on the Contender Series against Mulumba. I don't know how to say that name. And then Harry Hardwick's coming off a loss against Cowie Fernandez. Took some crazy leg kicks, but it was on short notice, to be fair. Now, Rahiki is really young. He's 23. Hardwick is 31. He's 13-4-1. I understand that Marwan has a lot of hype right now, but I think this is I feel like I'm favoring Hardwick here. I just feel like Rahiki, he was getting tagged bad. I feel like a lot of it was the survival ability. I don't rate the Cowie Fernandez loss bad at all because there's super short notice and Cowie Fernandez is an absolute dog. So I feel like Harry Hardwick here is actually a live underdog. 5'8", the same height. Rahiki's only got 1 inch reaching advantage. And also Harry Hardwick, this is at featherweight. He's coming back down to featherweight, so he should be able to win. It's going to be the bigger guy. I think Harry Hardwick's going to get it done. Anyway, this is, in my opinion, this is the easiest fight to predict on the card. If I get this wrong, I will delete my channel because Andre Fili, I'll show you his record. Look, let's go to his Tapology. Look, Win one, lost one. Win one, lost one. Win one, lost one. Win one, lost one. This dude wins one, then he loses one. He wins one, and he loses one. That's just how it is with Andre Fili. That's how I predicted his fight against Christian Rodriguez last. I got that right because I go, okay, he's going to win this one. Jose Delgado, and it doesn't help. I don't think Andre Fili is going to be able to break this win-loss streak against a guy like Jose Delgado. This dude is nasty. He beat Nathaniel Wood. I don't want to say it was a robbery because it was a really close fight, but he should have had his hand raised. The fact it was a unanimous decision was crazy. Delgado, he's going to get him out of there so quickly. If I get this one wrong, I will be shocked. I will be like shook. I mean, Jose Delgado, if you go back and look at the way Jose Delgado was super angry when they announced that Nathaniel Wood had won. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to kill his next opponent. And it's Andre Fili, who's been knocked out by Danny Ige. Yeah, sorry, brother. But you've been sentenced to death against Miguel Delgado, bro. I'm sorry. Jose Miguel Delgado, he's going to say something crazy. He's going to get a performance bonus. I can't wait. It's going to be crazy. This is the fight I'm looking forward to most just because of the performance from Jose Delgado. Anyway, sorry I was talking there for a little bit. I just really like Jose Delgado. We move on. Umar Sy versus Ion Cutelaba. Now Umar Sy is coming off a TKO victory against Brendan Ribeiro, and then Cutelaba is coming off loss against Modestas Bukauskas. Now, it was a robbery. He should have beaten Bukauskas. It was only because it was in Canada. I don't know why they don't like him in Canada. They just don't happen to. Now, see, I was at the Minifield fight in Atlanta. Oh, my, that was terrible. So I'm cheering for Cutelaba here just because I don't like C for doing that to me, giving me a boring fight. C's a decent wrestler. He's got good top control. I don't really rate him too highly on the feet. And then Cutelaba, he's okay on the feet. I don't know. I'm going to go with C here. He's a slight favorite, but I'm not really confident in this pick whatsoever. I could really see either guy winning. So, yeah, I mean, do with that what you will. I'm not really counting this prediction if I get it right or wrong. Anyway, we move on to the co-main event. Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. Now, this fight was scheduled for the Manel Cap Brandon Royval card, but Lemos got sick and pulled out. So now it's scheduled for this card. Jillian Robertson's on a 4-fight winning streak. I think 2 of them are by finish, or maybe 1. Yeah, 2 of them are by finish. And Amanda Lemos is coming off a loss to Tatiana Suarez back in UFC Noche. I could see Lemos getting it done, but she's 38 years old. I mean, she's kind of on her way out of here. I feel like Jillian Robertson kind of has the tools to get it to the ground, to beat her up, get her on the clinch, give her some knees. I feel like Jillian Robertson has significantly improved on the feet. Now, if Lemos can stuff a takedown to get off the fence, I think she should win. However, I just don't trust her enough to stuff the takedowns because I understand Tatiana Suarez, who her last loss was. She's a great grappler. So is Jillian Robertson. A little bit of less one. I think Jillian Robertson's going to ride this hot streak that she's been on. Give me her by second round submission. That's just how I feel about it because I'm just going off what Jillian Robertson said. She said take it to the bank, second round submission. Anyway, we're going to move on to the main event. Now, this one is a banger. Don't let anybody convince you differently. I understand that Josh Emmett is on a 2-fight losing streak, and sometimes he's not the most entertaining guy. But trust me, this one's a banger. And Kevin Vahecek. It's not Vallejos, it's Vahecek. You know, he's on a 5 or 6-fight winning streak. I don't know. After losing to Gene Silva back at the Contender Series, it's his only loss, and I really think that's not a bad loss. To me here, it's pretty obvious what I'm looking at. I think Kevin Vahecek is going to win by decision. Josh Emmett couldn't put out. I think this is going to be a very similar fight to what we saw versus Ilia Topuria. I don't think it's going to be on that same level of domination on how Ilia beat Josh Emmett, but I do believe that Kevin's boxing and his boxing combinations is just going to keep Emmett away. I don't think he's going to be able to touch him. I think it's going to be a pretty good victory for Vahecek. I think he's going to be 50-45, maybe even 49-46. But I just feel like I don't think he's going to win by knockout. I understand he put out Giga Chikadze, but I don't rate that knockout too highly considering how bad Giga's been. So to me, Kevin Vahechek, by decision, is the method. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for my video today, guys. I'm going to start making more of these more commonly. I hope you guys recognize that I got a new headset and microphone, so I hope I sound better. I had to turn the volume up like 300% though because it was like super crappy. But anyway, yeah, hopefully I do good on picks. Hopefully I can help you. Whatever, I understand this video is not going to get so much traction, but I'm just trying to build something constant and stable so this gets more recognition. I kind of want to make this into a job if I can. We'll see. But yeah, just go. If you've made it this far, I would appreciate a like. You don't even have to comment or subscribe or anything. Just a like would be nice. So yeah, well, see you in the next one. Next week is Lerone Murphy versus VALLEJOS. So tune into that. It's gonna be a crazy card. Maybe I'll do a reaction video to this. Who knows? We'll find out. All right. Well, see you guys.